Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've calmed down. JP the Third, Venus.com. Fun story about this game that I want to make note of. We got Dawn Drop Radiant Beginnings. The title is Dawn Drop Radiant Beginnings here. And after the last part, I tried to save it because I just wanted to put a pin in it right there. It would not save automatically, and when I tried to do it again, the game crashed. So, thank you once again, Tyranno Builder, for putting me in that situation. I had to start it over from the top. And the skip button wouldn't work, even though I've already played through this already. I haven't tested the save button out again, but I may do that when I'm not. Hopefully it's not OBS interfering with Tyranno Builder, but that introduces an entirely different issue. Excuse me. Trying to keep the throat clear. When we last left off, we were dealing with Allison, who seems to be a person split into two. Half of her enjoys men drooling over her. The other half doesn't. And it's written in a way that doesn't add any nuance or subtlety to the conversation at all. So let's see if we can muscle through this conversation and get through this demo. You're only a man. All men are taken aback by me, whether I like it or not. There isn't much you nor anyone else can do, and while I generally ignore such commentary and stares, the fact your friend was speaking loud enough to be heard down the street made me come over here and quiet him myself. Right, sorry about that. Of course, she is I mean, it's not a bad point, it's just that she's recapping something that she's already said twice. And sorry about Judd trying to ask you out to lunch, too, in spite of all this happening. He has bad timing. Terrible with women. If you could overlook his stupidity, I would greatly appreciate it. Hey, I take offense to being called Jet, just shut up and let me do the talking. Seriously, man, you are going to keep digging yourself into a deeper grave. I suppose I can. You two are just men, after all. Simple and easily manipulated by women who choose to do so. Okay, writer. Is she aware of her sexuality and using it to manipulate men, and when they do something stupid, she calls them out? Which is this weird sexuality double play that I can't even wrap my mind around? Or is she just an idiot? Can we get some clarification on the field, please? That's all I'm asking for. I have no interest in that, though, so you don't need to worry about that. Oh, thank you very much. She's just an idiot. It's not that the rabbit face wasn't a dead giveaway. For now, I will let you continue on your way. But I don't ever want to hear you talking about me like that so loudly again. Do you understand? Jet? Yep, Crystal. No more zip up. But if I could ask about that lunch one more time. Is he always this stupid? Or is this like a nervous thing he does from time to time? Unfortunately, this is just how he is. But if I could say one thing, could you stop being so condescending towards us? Condescending? I'm just talking to you like I would any other male, though. What do you mean talking to us like any other male? You just generally talk to guys like they are beneath you? More or less, you are correct. They'll never want one thing. They never really care about anything else, so logically that means they're not evolved enough to be placed on the same playing field, metaphorically speaking. Well, maybe they would be if you didn't have your tits hanging out. Just, again, if the point would be so much better if the character was designed differently, and maybe we'll get that after the Kickstarter campaign, where it is a different design would go so much further in this conversation, but you can... Okay, I'm trying to think of a way to break this down beyond sexuality, but I don't think I can. It's just... this character is all over the place. They're trying to write a more or less feminist character here that will eventually fall for the main character's dick, but a more or less feminist character, but from the perspective, but they don't want to take away her sexiness. They want her to be sexually attractive to the audience while allowing her to have a feminist background. or feminist characterization, which is not working. Guys, I'm sorry, it is not working. You can't have a character look like this and then get mad that guy stare at her, and then use that as the basis of treating men as beneath her. Men are stupid. I speak as one, so I know my gender. But at the same time, we're not that stupid. Maybe we are. I mean, after all, Windcloud is still doing well. But that's a whole different story. Let's just move on. It's not that I'm talking down to them. I just kind of see them the same as I would a puppy, for example. Yeah, that is condescending. I can't particularly say I like that, especially since you don't know me well enough to brand me as inferior or lacking evolution. Well, I suppose you make a valid point, but in my eyes, you're just like the rest until proven otherwise. Although I say you are a more pedigree breed just by your word choice and ability to hold a conversation without breaking eye contact. Hypocrisy without self-awareness is idiotic. But anyways, I need to go or else I'll be late. Later, oh, clean up your friend's drool. He hasn't stopped staring at me yet. And remember, keep your thoughts about me to yourself or in your room, wherever that you choose that isn't public. I'm leaving that one alone. If I hear your friend again, I'll make sure to properly discipline him myself next time. You know, I don't think that would be such a bad thing when I think about it. Like, Jack, could you please just be quiet? Not a single intelligent thing has come out of your mouth so far. Well, so far this entire conversation has been idiotic, but that's a whole nother story. Right, so bye. It's over, thank God. God damn it, Jet, you just made things worse. No wonder you have so much trouble getting a girlfriend, even though you look like you... Move on. My eyes? What's wrong with my eyes? Oh, what's wrong with your eyes? They are red, or haven't you noticed? Been hitting that bush real hard lately? Getting your mileage? No, I don't smoke weed. It's the pollen in the air. It makes my eyes red and irritable. I put in drops for the, you know what? It's not a type of weed. Moving along. Get to the point. Okay, here we go. And together we finished the trek downward towards the school gate. I'm sure if you guys want to go back and read their banner, you can. It was just them making jokes about weed. Yay. And together we finished the trek downward towards the school gate. An interesting episode now behind us. Okay, good. After a few more minutes of walking, I can see the front of the school appear before me, and with it a large crowd of people. It's a large building, gated off to the left and right to prevent anyone from sneaking in, and every few feet you see a person surveying the surrounding area. The guards must be none other than the student council officers. As expected of a high-ranked university, Glennaeus spares no expense in securing its grounds or assuring that their students are safe, with the student council being the main security force. Right. Each guard is vigilant and almost act like machine scans. Like machines scans the area, and almost like machines scans the area around them, every now and then placing their hands to their ears before muttering something. Probably a regular report to whoever is in charge. My target, located right in the middle of them all, is the building known as the Alpha Gate, which is the main entrance to the school, or rather the only entrance. Without going through Alpha Gate, you can't enter the actual grounds, period. Which means that right now, with all of the student traffic, it's going to take a hot minute to get to the auditorium that is right past Alpha Gate. A hot minute that I don't give a damn. Look like we're in for a bit of a wait, so I'll probably catch you later, alright? The line over there is pretty short, and I think I saw another eye-catching female over in that line. Wish me luck, ciao. Oh, and don't get lost. I keep getting, you know what I want. Without waiting for my response, Jet jogs off into the crowd, leaving me alone in a torrent of students. The air is hot and humid, the sun is beating down on their heads, and the complaints of the other students all mingle together into a very uncomfortable and annoying situation. Being pushed and shoved around by a crowd as if I am in the sea makes the experience even worse, and the illusion of not going anywhere fast starts setting in. Eventually, though, I manage to reach the front of the crowd and am met by a young man with a scanning device. He looks at me and quickly locates my badge. Lifting the device up to it, he scans and lets out a series of beeps, which causes him to pause. Before I can do anything else, though, he lifts his hand up, a sign that he doesn't want me to move, and calls for someone. A few moments pass and I see a petite woman walk up to me. Who the hell are you? Excuse me, what's your name? Her voice is soft and meek, timid like a mouse, but since she was called over, it means that she is someone of particular importance. Which brings up the questions of what I did wrong. No one calls someone even remotely important unless someone screws up. Don't worry, you are not in trouble. My name is Maria Delena, Secretary of the Student Council and Head of Security during the times the President is busy with other affairs. I am crying about your name since I was told to find a Dimitri Soul and bring him to the auditorium immediately when he should arrive. Yes, my name is Dimitri Soul. Who asked to bring me to the auditorium? Why, the director, of course. No one else aside from the president can make such a demand after all. He actually wanted me to find you earlier, try and pluck you out at the bus stop, but unfortunately I got caught up here due to some difficulties with other students. I'm terribly sorry about that. It's no big deal. Although I am curious as to why the director went out of his way to do something like that for me. It's a no-brainer really, sir. You're the son of Albrecht Soul, a legend if I do say so myself. A man who ushered in, blah, blah, blah. We know this already, it only makes sense that you be treated, blah, blah, blah. I see. Well, you can just call me Dimitri. The third thing sounds weird since you're either the same age or older than I am. I'm not that special, blah, blah, blah. Of course, I apologize. I should have asked that beforehand. And anyways, we should get going. The director made the president wait to begin her speech until you arrived so that you would not miss it. Faria does get a bit impatient, though, when things go against her schedule, so I suggest we hurry to the auditorium. Right then, I wouldn't want to keep her waiting. Lead the way, Maria. That Maria motions forward, and we begin walking down the school grounds. There's a bit of traffic, but as Maria approaches, groups of student council officers move the students in the way to the side. A very luxurious way to get to my destination, if I have to say so myself, which honestly makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, but I can't really say anything when the director has gone so far to organize this all just for me. Eventually, we reach a large building that has to be the auditorium, known as Epsilon Center, a one-of-a-kind auditorium that could rival even a football stadium in size. Where the hell do you have that in this? You know what, never mind. Not to mention state-of-the-art acoustics with mics and speakers that a music producer would kill for, or so they say. As we make our way around, we pass the normal door and enter an area that is blocked off by two more student council officers. They see Maria and make way and right past them I see a petite blonde woman with a rapier on her hip. Normally in today's day and age you wouldn't expect to see such an old-fashioned weapon, but judging by how she's holding it and some sort of feeling in my gut, I knew the rapier had to be some sort of equip. Oh my god. Okay, we're actually getting somewhere, and yes, this is a knockoff of several bad animes that I've seen ripped apart over the years. But at least we're getting somewhere. As I approach her smile immediately turns to a scowl. There you are, Maria. What's that boy the director was talking about? Come on, dear, how is it possible that... Oh, she's French. Yay. How is it possible that a child of the Albrecht Soul can be so irresponsible as not to arrive here on time? The director told me to wait for him, and the very thing I want... Yeah, move! We know it! Excuse me, Madam President, this is the boy you were asked to bring. This is Mr. Saul. Thank you, Maria. You may leave. I would like to have a word with him. Alone, please. Of course, madam. If you will excuse me. You, boy. You were given the same information as everyone else, and yet you are late. Do you think you're special because your father was Albert? Do you think you are exempt from the rules? I know the director said to not start until you arrive, but I never imagined you would actually be late. How to Stacy. You're lucky we waited, but let me tell you one thing, she said, Tsundere. Are you ready? Are you listening? Yes? Good. I won't repeat myself. I don't ever want you to be late to an important meeting again. Do you understand? I don't care who you are or who your friend or who is your friend. I am the president, and I won't stand for tardiness or anything short of excellence. Not how I was about to read that. Okay? Oh, of course. I'm sorry. I really am. It's just that back at the bus stop I got none. I don't want to hear your excuses, Dimitri. Just go down the aisle over there, you see. There is the VIP seatings. I have a speech to make. Maybe if I change something, I can make up for lost time. But that would be a great disservice to the student body. You have made this difficult for me, but I will let you off the hook today as it is your first day. Now I will be on my way. So, what was the point of that other than to introduce those two girls? Was that the only point? There wasn't a more natural way we could involve them? Nah. Without another word or waiting for me to respond, she turned on her heels and stressed off, the rapier on her hip gently wiggling in its sheath. Just as the bus driver warned me, she was a fierce one. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm apparently special at the moment here, I'm sure she would have done much worse than she did. What strikes me as odd is the fact that she has a British accent. It's just unnecessary. That's just completely unnecessary. I mean, I'm sure you can have a British accent and speak French, but it's going to sound a little off, just a little bit. But yeah, I'm sure British people speak French often. People who are especially close to the French mainland, around the Dover area, I'm sure they can speak French. But that's not a point to point out. That's not necessary. You know what? I'm being pedantic. Moving on. So either she's forcing herself to do it, or her upbringing is complicated. If I hadn't put her in a bad mood by being late, though, I probably would have asked too. One thing is for certain, though, I was definitely not on her good side. And that is an opera house. Yay. I walked down the hallway, and as I turn the corner, I hear the beat of my sound. I know me the speaker will be ready soon, which means I should hurry to my seat before Faria appears or else. The fact that I have met her means that she is more likely to notice me not being there when she starts, and that is something that I can't have because I'm almost certain it will annoy her. You don't know her from a hill of beans. Why do we care what she thinks? I'm just saying. Now quickly walking, I find myself in an oddly empty seating area filled with cushioned seats. I look around and realize that above me in standard seating are the massive crowds of students I have been anticipating. Freya did mention this was the VIP area, although I didn't realize until just now how exclusive VIP was, since mine and myself there are maybe 10 other people in this area. While I don't understand the reason behind having a VIP area for an auditorium, I can't help but feel extremely grateful that I don't have to blah blah blah. Finally, you see that, you know what? Get to the speech! And within a second, she is visible on the podium clearing her throat. A moment later, she begins to speak.
Welcome everyone to Glenaeus University, a place where you can make your dreams a reality. A place where anything is possible if you are dedicated enough. How salubrious and joyful it is to know that all of you have passed the trials to enter this grand school.
Let me just see something right quick. Hopefully I don't break the game. Nope, no option to correct the volume. Thanks, Tyranno Builder. Freya begins her long speech talking about expectations and how the students of Glenaeus did not have a responsibility to do their school proud. She continues with a series of points about behavior and refers to tardiness and disrespect many times as the things that greatly upset her. So now we're in front of her mind, and as the protagonist of this game, I'm sure that will not come into play at all. Yep. 30 minutes and she begins once again saying how proud she is of every person here and how she expects. If I act out in any way, I'm sure I'll hear about it later since I'm in her direct line of sight, plus she has made eye contact with me at least 3 times thus far. So for the time being, I simply smile through her speech. Furthermore, as students of Glenaeus, you have all been given standard issue equipment, or E-equipment. Make up your mind! These single bracelets will allow you to think faster and remember better. Unfortunately, these do not augment your physical abilities, but if you're fortunate enough to be selected to represent our school at the festival, then you'll be issued a personalized custom equipment. For those of you with custom equipments, we ask you to be responsible where and how you use them. There are no restrictions between equipment users, but if you happen to go too far or step too far out of line, you answer to me in Thimbleverse? So, she's a British girl that speaks French and using a German-sounding weapon. Thimbleverse. or Fimblevetter. I'll go with Fimblevetter. For those who don't know, my equip is a custom created by my royal family. And this game needs a bingo card. Set in school, check. The main girl is a princess, check. With a rapier, check. At some point, we're going to make the female childhood best friend. I'm sure she's going to show up. And the other romantic rivals that will form the main character's harem. Created by my royal family in the Aura Zones with the help of Saul Enterprises to ensure it will be the most cutting-edge equip possible. While it has a form of being a rapier and functions as one when I need it to, its actual ability as an equip is a bit more fearsome. As an well, why are you telling? You know what? Never mind. As an equip, my rapier absorbs energy around where I choose to point the tip, and of course, since I am its wielder, it doesn't affect me. Also, for those who think I mean energy as in electricity, allow me to correct the misconception in that my rapier drains energy at the atomic level. In simple terms, it freezes anything or stops things in motion. I can't wait for the main character to make that out to be a lie. So I do not recommend breaking the rules unless you feel confident enough to face Fimblevetter and myself. Why do I get the feeling that's like German for thimble or something? For real, let's have a warm smile as she subtly threatens the student body about breaking rules. It's a bit scary knowing the president wasn't above using violence to get things done, but it was also assuring to know that she was willing to go to such lengths to maintain the peace and order. The rapier, though, I'm sure has other qualities. How do I know? Oddly enough, it feels like there is a sequence. You know what? This is important. Let me not skip it. Oddly enough, it feels like there's a sequence of numbers hovering above it as I stare at it. Earlier, they were blurry and just looked like my imagination, but after Faria explained its unique properties, it's almost like the numbers began gaining form. It would be great if we could see this. I still can't understand it though, and I can only see them if I really focus on the equip. A strange thing, but nothing worth worrying about. Experimental technology has bugs from time to time after all. I turn around out of my seat and head out the way I came, ready to embrace the sun again. Okay. But as I exit outdoor to feel the warm rays of the sun, I instead find myself greeted by a cold wind and otherwise dark vision of the outside world. Apparently, in the time it's taken us to go to orientation, a group of rain clouds have moved in over the sun, casting dark shadows over the whole school. Okay, yeah, I need to stop. I thought it might be important, but it's not. So leave a like if you're enjoying the series so far. I'm sure somebody has to at this point. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. VNsnow.com. That's VNsnow.com. For more stuff like this. I mean, we're finally getting to the point, but it really feels like the writer was like, oh yeah, we gotta include the main girl here. Otherwise, they're gonna assume that she's not the main girl, and if this is how we always introduce the main girl in anime, so we're gonna make it happen right here. Now let's move on to something pedantic. So honestly, for all I know, we're about to get another 30 minutes of him just staring at his shoes or something, but let's see what happens in the next video.